Welcome to another episode of the Serenity Resource Connector. This is season 2, episode 2. That's right, we are at season 2. Thank you for joining us. For those who are joining us live on Facebook or YouTube, or if you're watching the replay, it is a pleasure to have you here. If you are joining us for the first time, welcome to the Serenity Resource Connector family. Stick with us as we continue to educate and empower. So, in the previous episode, we had conversation with T.A. Hyman, CEO and founder of Scholastic Oasis Caribbean, who talked us through the whole matter of scholarships, grants, and fellowships for higher education. On this episode, we'll be turning our attention to high school education financing. And to get that conversation going, we're going to have joining us representatives from Denby High School and Clarendon College. Let's bring them on. All right, so we're going to have Janice Jalal, principal of Denby High School. We also have senior teacher and scholarship coordinator, Mrs. Virginia Plowright, joined by guidance counselor, Mrs. Sherry Thorny Owen. Sherry rather, Thorny Owen. Let me get that right. So let's get the conversation rolling, or at least for them to join me here in the virtual space. Let's bring on. Welcome, Mrs. Plowright, to the
Thanks
Serenity
for having
Resource.
me.
A pleasure, a pleasure. And we have our viewers joining. All right. And we had some persons joining before they connected before 8 p.m. Tread this path. And we have Julian Williams and Marie Golding McGregor joined us before 8 p.m. I promise I'm going to get you a special prize for being super early. All right, I love this one. And Marie McGregor's present teacher. And that's right, that's what we're here to do, to educate and empower. All right, welcome, Latoya Banton. Thank you for joining. And you can go ahead. Good night, Sir Bert Green. You can go ahead and say something in the comments. Let's know who we have connecting with us. Let's see what's going on. All right. Sherry, I'm not sure what's going on with your connection. Could you exit and come back on? We're not able to bring you in to the studio at this time. Exit and come back on. All right, before we get into the conversation for this episode, please join me in congratulating Clarendon College on winning the ISA Champion Cup. Let's see the congratulations going in the comment. Big up to CC for all those who are joining. They call it hashtag CC Nation. Really exciting stuff going on Facebook with that. Congratulations also to Denby High School for making top 2 in the non-traditional high school category. Big up to Edwin Allen. And congratulations to Glenmuir High School for being named the top traditional high school for 2022. Central Jamaica is on fire. Let's keep the flames going. Welcome, Sir Mackenzie. Thank you all so much for joining. All right. Mrs. Florette is congratulating her school here. Thank you so much for that. All right. So, Mrs. Jalal, I trust you're safe to join us. Your connection looks a little dark. All right. Having a bit of a technical challenge here with the connection, not able to bring you in. I trust we'll be able to do that soon. All right. So in the meantime, keep those congratulations going. All right. Thank you so much for being a part of this episode as we continue our journey to educate and empower. All right, while we get the other aspect of things sorted out, Mrs. Fluorite, let's get the conversation rolling. Tell us about some of those financing options that are available in the high school at Clarendon College, because I know that there are different programs at different institutions. And I learned quite a bit just by conversing with you and Mrs. Owen. So share with the viewers the portfolio that you handle, and then we'll bring in Mrs. Owen later to share that aspect of it. So just walk us through.
Good evening, everyone. I am the scholarship coordinator at Clarendon College. Now, our students receive a lot of funding from different chapters, different past student associations. In addition to that, there are other entities who come on board to help us in terms of financing our students. So sometimes we'll get scholarships from the churches, from different business organizations. Mainly, our funding comes to us from the chapters, and we have the national chapter of past students, the Atlanta chapter, the South Florida chapter, the New York chapter, and the UK chapter. And they are
All
very
right.
instrumental in helping out our students to make their journey a smoother one. Because, given our present economic climate, some students encounter financial challenges, and the chapters help to lessen the burdens.
All right. That is really great information. And I'm a testimony of the program there at Clarendon College, because I believe I learned about the sponsorship program when I was about first form. And I was on that program all the way through to the point where I exited high school, because we're going to share in terms of the details how you able to access the program for the students and parents, guardian. But all that was required of me, I remember, was to submit um, my grades. I believe it was my report along with a letter, and each term I would share my grades with my sponsor, and I didn't have to worry about anything else. Each year I'd reapply for the program. And of course, all that was required of me was to maintain the grades throughout high school. So I am a testimony of the sponsorship program, that it worked and it lessened the burden on my mommy. Thank God for that. Mrs. Florite, you can continue to share in terms of for parents, guardian who are on, even students, how they can access the sponsorship program, or any of the scholarship programs.
Okay, the different entities have set criteria for their students to access funding. And one of the most important one has to do with need. Following up on need, academic excellence, and it's not restricted to academic excellence only. If there's a needy student who is not excelling academically, he or she will not be excluded from the program. Additionally, the student is expected to participate in co-curricular activities, and the student can be from any form, that is from first to sixth form. In terms of how the scholarships are distributed, all the student needs to do, he or she needs to apply. There are some students who are shy, and when we send out our advertisements, they will not come forward. So, with the help of my colleagues, the form teachers, the grade supervisors, the guidance counselors, sometimes we have to go looking for those students, because even though they know that they really need the help, they will not come forward. When they come, they are required that each applicant is given a form which asks basic information of them. Like, since we are catering for the needy and not the greedy, there are some leading questions that will be asked. So, for example, a rough estimate of the income of the parents, whether you have how many students are at a particular home. So, how many students? Additionally, they are asked to give recommendations, to bring recommendations, one from the academic community and one from the community in which the student lives, to ensure that what the student has said or the information that the parent has provided is correct. Additionally, the parents are also required to place their contact information. The student is also expected to write an essay with which he is required to outline why he needs the scholarship or why she needs the scholarship. The applications, oh, and the student is also required to submit his or her latest report. And even though it is said that you should have attained an average of at least 75, we still make we still take into consideration the differences when you examine each situation based on its own merit.
Right.
The applications are sent off to the different chapters, and they are always responding positively to the applications.
All right. That's great. So there is a vibrant past student association, and not just in scholarship, because the fancy buses that we see Clarendon College received recently in the midst of COVID and all of that. Kudos to the different chapters and for what they're doing in terms of supporting the ongoing financing of the high schools. Not just Clarendon College, but Clarendon College is on now. But the list of the different chapters were shared earlier, and I need to sign up for my chapter. I'm going to take care of that. And for the others who are on, be sure that you just sign up for your chapter so we can work together to strengthen what we already have. All right. So let's turn the focus to Mrs. Owen's portfolio. Very interesting. Mrs. Owen, go ahead and unmute. All right, I just did it for you. Oh, go ahead and unmute and share with us the portfolio that you oversee.
Good evening, everyone. Trust that we're all having a good evening so far, and that we are listening to the information and seeing how this we can even try to help others. All right, so my responsibility is mainly to talk to you about the Jamaica mentorship program, and that's a partnership between the Clarendon College and the Jamalco, and it's led by Mr. Kenneth Francis, who is a past student of Clarendon College. Now, how do we select those students? We choose students who are at risk, right? You have some students who are not necessarily troublemakers per se, but we see where they need a little motivation and they need some encouragement. Now, along with that, it also helps with their social well-being. So with that program, it's not just a program where persons just come and tell them what to do, what to say, and whatever, but we actually have a meeting with the sponsors and the mentors at the Jamalco, and that is in in the Mineral Heights area, right? And so, like on a monthly basis, a trip is taken down where the students are able to interact with their mentors. Yes, we have a little luncheon that we have there. The students are able to interact, eat, have fun, they have entertainment as well, where the mentors actually entertain them, get to know them. They are given certificates,
Okay.
right? And that relationship is ongoing, right? So as it's not a thing where they're put on and then after that they are just left there. They actually keep a bond with their mentors, and they're able to even get advice from them with regards to their education, maybe future education. What do I do after school? So it's open. It's not just in a one area, right? It's a holistic approach that we have in that mentorship program, and we ensure that the mentors are trained as well. So Mr. Kenneth Francis is the one who ensures that the mentors get their training. At the same time, the mentees are also called into a meeting where they are told about what is expected of them, in terms of their behavior and what the relationship should entail. Because, especially in this day and age, even in good partnerships, you still have to keep a tab on things to ensure that all
Right.
parties involved are secure, right? So it's something that the students look forward to. And as guidance counselors, we normally get the help of the form teachers, as well as we, from observation, would have chosen which students would benefit from such a relationship. So it is something that's ongoing, but with the pandemic, things have slowed down somewhat, but we are now in the process of regrouping. Yes, because some of our students have actually graduated as well. So we are now in the selection process again, so we can see which students would best be suited. And we also keep in touch with Mr. Kenneth Francis, who tells us about whatever else it is that we need to do, even outside of just the regular social meetings that we have. So it's something that the students look forward to. They enjoy taking the trip to go and see their mentors, but separately and apart from that, we actually want to see a change in behavior. That's one of the other reasons for which that program has been put in place. And we have seen where, in terms of their self-esteem, some of them have been impacted greatly in a positive
Right.
way because of that interaction and that bond that they have formed with their mentors. So it's a program that we love, and we also benefit from it in a financial way. But let me just explain what that means. So there's a
Go
little
right
bursary.
ahead.
Yes, I'm doing that because we don't want persons to think it's a bank and so students just go there and collect. No, but there is a little bursary that's there too, because everything takes money, and that little money that is put away by the Jamaica mentors is to assist the needy students. And if it is that a situation should arise, they are on hand to help to in a financial way. But it's not something where they're given asset money every time everybody gets payout. But it's something that's there, so
Understand.
there's money in the kitty in case there's any need for that money. All right,
Um,
so it's a program that is appreciated by both parents and the members of the Clarendon College family.
Right. So you mentioned that you're in the process now of selection. So this is a really
Yes.
a great time to be having this conversation. So the parents, the students, and we have some social workers online as well who can, and community leaders who can pass on the information so that they can encourage the parents and students to inquire even before you get to them, to make the work easier for you to come and inquire how they can become a part of that program. This is really great, because I got a message to say that this topic sounds very interesting. I need to hear, because many people are wondering high school financing, what's that all about?
Mhm.
But there are so many different programs and creative ways, innovative ways that we can support what is going on and to ensure. And here it is that we're talking about not just financial support, but guidance in terms of the mentorship program, which is very important, especially for our young people. That is really amazing stuff. And we also have the Path program, and you monitor that portfolio as well, Mrs. Owen.
Yes, the PATH program.
Yes,
As
go
you
ahead and
know,
share, because some parents are not so sure how to go
okay,
about it.
so
So, yes.
all right, so the PATH program now, that's a national program, right? So it's open to all schools, basically in Jamaica. And at Clarendon College, we also benefit from the PATH program in that students that receive lunch, those are on the program, they get lunch on a daily basis. And they are able to also get funding after high school, right? But for that, they'll have to go to the PATH office and sign up at the National Insurance Scheme office. That's where they go and they speak with the PATH liaison officer. So as soon as they have completed their high school education and they're from a PATH household, they're able to go now and to sign up for that benefit, that bursary that's there for them to help them with their tertiary level of education, right? Besides that, also they have what some other programs. One of which, for example, is the Step to Work program, wherein if we have a student who is in their financial need, and that we found out that the parent of that student is probably not working, well, they can go and they can sign up for that program. Wherein, for example, if they have a piece of land, they can set up, say, a coop, and they can raise their chickens. And then the persons from the PATH office now would go to check to ensure that the monies that they were given to start this business or to continue it, they're actually using it for that purpose. So that's one of the other, those are some of the other benefits that are there, as well as you also have compassionate funding and so on. So whenever you have certain situations, once you're on the PATH program and you're say, for example, something should go wrong with your house gets burnt down, something that we don't normally would be looking out for, accidents and little incidents, you can do your report there, and they will also help to get you some funding in that regard. Okay. So the
Very
PATH program is
impressive,
very
Mrs.
wide.
Owen.
The PATH program is very wide. There's no one particular area to it, but where school is concerned, the students are given their lunches, so at least the parents don't have to worry about that part of things. And besides that, though, we also have a welfare program at Clarendon College where we are given
Before you
monies
get, before
from.
you go on to the welfare program, I must say, very impressive, because I'm
Okay.
sure partly to the Ministry of Labor and Social Security should give you a check for this kind of information, because this is really clear and in terms of guidance as to what happens after they leave high school. Very impressive. Go ahead and continue with the welfare and the welfare program.
Okay, so we also have a welfare program at Clarendon College, wherein to the principal, the bursar is given a set amount of money that is given to us as guidance counselors to help students with their fares, for example, because you might have some students they're traveling from far, and the parents might have it financially challenging to foot the cost of the entire bus fare for the week or taxi fare. So we assist students by helping them to pay a portion of that fare. Okay, and also if there's a student in need of like uniform or things like those big school items, we reach out to those students using that same welfare money to assist them in that area, in those areas. So wherever we see a need arise and we're able to, then we reach out and we also contact other entities to help us whenever we see students who are in need. So we have been doing our little bit, but if anybody's impressed to help us out, our hands are wide open, ready to receive so we can give.
All right. And of course, we have a number of past students who are connected. I see a number of them. All right. We have on screen here Sheena Vasiani sharing that she's impressed with the information given by Mrs. Plowright, who has been at the helm of this scholarship program for many years at CC. Yes, I believe she might have been the person at the helm when I was there, and that's quite a while now. Really, really awesome. Right, and let's bring in some others here. Tofnida Ellis, social worker, saying awesome, awesome, awesome. And she missed the first chapters, I think, that episode, and would appreciate some updates at a later and more convenient time. Great initiative at Serenity. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Miss Ellis. Um, Not sure what exactly, if you could share what you mean by first chapters, that would be helpful as we continue to share. And I recognize this name, Grace Rose. Good information being shared. Well done, True Blue Family. And of course, you know that's Clarendon College. All right. And continuing along the vein that Mrs. Owen was on just now, even before we bring on Mrs. Jalal from Denby, sometimes as businesses, especially small size businesses, we figure that we have to come up with some big amount of money to support these initiatives. If they're not able to fully sponsor a child, is there a pool that they can contribute to? You mentioned in terms of the welfare program. I'm sure that's pooling of resources so they can give their little much, or we can give our little much to be a part of that pool so that you can be able to reach more, correct?
Yes, certainly.
Awesome. And I saw recently in the news, and I had to send a direct big up to one of our members of the business community in Mapen. He did not put up cash. What he committed to was to sponsoring the child a meal a day because he's in the restaurant business. We have to use
Mhm.
what we have. He's in the restaurant business
Yeah.
and he's contributing a meal a day that adds up to a tidy amount for the entire year. So that's it. We have to think creatively and give generously, right?
Mhm.
According to our oh Lord, we have so many of them. It's our pledge.
Yes.
Yes. All right. This is really, as it's been shared, really great information, and it's important that our parents, guardian, and just about every community, church leaders, we all need to know what's happening and how we can help to support and point our students in the right direction for this kind of support. And I'm seeing Mrs. Jalal. Let's see. Not sure what's happening. Why I'm not able to bring you on, Mrs. Jalal. All right. While we are sorting that out, for past students who are on, is there a particular process that they need to go through in terms of connecting with the school, or they can just reach out to you by the communication channel that you shared with me, Mrs. Florite?
Ideally, I like when the requests are routed through the principal at first,
Okay.
so that there's transparency
Mhm.
and our sponsors can always keep abreast of
Yes.
how their funds are shared. So if you're interested in awarding a scholarship to a child, you can communicate with the principal. Normally, he passes on the information to me and we take it from there. Your funds are usually deposited through the bursar, and at the end of each financial period, she usually provides a statement. So you are now convinced that what you sent was spent where you want it to be spent. So we are welcome. We're welcome to any fund that you want to give. And it does not take a lot. It is said that one cocoa full basket. So we're
Indeed.
not turning down
Mhm.
anything. Whatever you send to us, we will take it because you would have touched one life and you don't know how far that goes. And it is said that to touch one life is to have succeeded. So if you
Mhm.
help just one student, we are thankful and we are ready. So just think about that. This is something that you need to be thinking about. And if you have not done so yet, come on board. Clarendon College welcomes your support.
Well said, Mrs. Fluorite. Well said. All right, you can keep the comments going. We will get to it in a little while, but let us welcome Mrs. Jalal to the virtual space of the Serenity Resource Connector. Mrs. Jalal, it's a pleasure to have you here with us.
Good evening, Mrs. Witter. Good evening, colleagues. It is my pleasure to be on with you. I was so also, informed really by the discourse that happened before Mrs. Florite. It's been a while,
Yes.
but really, really good information coming from the Clarendon College team. And I just want to commend the team there, especially on your recent win with the Champions Cup. I was there celebrating with your principal and your boys, but good stuff coming from Clarendon College.
Thank you on behalf of the CC family.
All right. That's the way we do it. It's all about the teamwork, and
Yes,
there are they call it social proof. I saw the pictures with
you
the different
did.
educators together, and I felt a sense of pride to know that the educators can come together. It doesn't matter which institution, we are all a part of this, and the support, especially now, is extremely important. So I'm really, really feels heartwarming feeling here in seeing that. All right. Some more comments coming in. All right. Good to see CC. All right, Mrs. Jalal, are the virtual stage is yours to share what's happening there at Denby High as it relates to the different programs for financial support.
All right. So our program is a little similar. I recognize guidance counselor Owen, and our program at Denby is run by our guidance counselors. So the guidance and counseling department, it's one of the supportive aspects that they carry out. So they don't just look at the mental, just the mental or the counseling aspect. They think about the holistic child. And so the tuition challenges that families might face, the need for scholarships, the need for even care packages, lunch programs. That's something that they oversee, and they reach out to different stakeholders for support. So one of the scholarships that we have is the Nadine Nemard Henry Scholarship, which is one that has been given by the current president of our Past Students Association. Nadine Nemard Henry is a former head girl, and she has been giving back to the institution in multiple ways. So her scholarship really covers a tuition fee for one grade 10 student. It's a simple process. The application is done through the counselors, and then a student is selected, and that's done annually. The class of 2001, that's an awesome, awesome set of students. They have a benevolent fund that they do where they give up to $100,000 annually to students in need. And they have their own application process. They'll send it out. We will share it with our parents via our parent WhatsApp groups, because at Denby we have a WhatsApp group for every class, and that class WhatsApp group with our parents has. Right. I'm sorry about that. I'm actually in transit traveling from St. Thomas. So, from time to time there might be a little interruption, but I've pulled over to speak with you. Right. So the class of 2001, their benevolent fund, they have give $100,000. And that they have their own application process. They'll send it out, and they have a committee that will do the selection. We have another scholarship that is from the Grace and Star Foundation, which is an extension of Grace Kennedy. And for the past 3 years, they have granted scholarships to 20 students for assistance with tuition and exam fees. So the members of staff, students, and their families benefit also from care packages that Grace will donate to the school. There's another scholarship that is really near and dear to us, which is the George and Jasmine Kirby Scholarship. We know the George Kirby Hardware in Maypen. So when you find local business persons who reach out to schools, that is something that we're grateful for. And this has been in place for more than 5 years. Initially, they had selected 2 students to receive financial support, but since 2021, with what has been happening with COVID, they have seen the need to increase that number, and so they are now awarding 4 students annually. And the contribution this year was in the form of cash as well as tablets. So we're happy when our stakeholders really look at the status of our country, all the things that are happening, and they respond to the need that is there. We have a scholarship from our PTA, very vibrant PTA. I think we have the best PTA in Jamaica. Our president, Mrs. Sharon Anns Francis, and VP, Mr. Horace Holmes. I know those are persons that you're familiar with, Madam,
Oh,
from the
yes.
Chamber of Commerce,
Oh,
right?
yes.
And
Part
on
of
an
the
annual
chamber.
basis, they reach out to our students too in the form of cash. They offset lunch for students. They do data plans, because we've been having that need with the online thing. Care packages. They do uniforms, books, and other things that are necessary for school. So they are also a very responsive PTA. And then, in addition to that, we have our school welfare program, where the guidance department will really administrate the funds that have been given from the school to assist with things like, data, transportation for students, lunch, other resources that we can help to enhance their welfare. And of course, Mrs. Owen spoke about the PATH program. We also have that. And we encourage our students. Sometimes parents will come in and they will express a need, and then we will guide them as to the process for them to apply to the PATH program, and we will provide a letter as well, as or from our end, given that we have, PATH has to do their verification, but the school
Right.
tries to support by offering a letter as well to say that we believe that this is a worthy cause.
Wow. These are some
I
powerful
am not
things.
hearing you at all.
These are some powerful things happening in our high school, and we want to continue to encourage the team. All right, we lost Mrs. Jalal there for a little while, but trusting that she'll be back on soon. And thank you for those who are online who have been supporting the different institutions. Thank you for your continued support. And for those who have not yet gone on board, you've heard how you're able to be a part of the process, whether you're an individual or a business, or you're a part of a service group and you want to provide support to strengthen the education sector. We can't wait for government to do this. We have to pull together as communities to ensure that we take care of our own. All right, let's see, Mrs. Jalal is back. Welcome
All
back.
right, great. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Right. So I was encouraging our viewers and for those who will be watching the replay to join forces with the different institutions, because we have represented here 2 of the many schools in Clarendon and across Jamaica, similar system. And from what we have been hearing, the flexibility is there. So if it is that you want to start your own scholarship at your alma mater, the option is there for you to reach out and connect to find out how you can go about establishing that. And it doesn't have to be a large amount, whatever little, as the saying goes, every mickle make a muckle, and
Yes.
one poke a full basket.
One cocoa. Yes.
Right. So we want to continue to support. All right. So Mrs. Plurite, I don't have the information for Clarendon College, but we can tag it along on the YouTube page. Okay, but this is the information for Denby High. For those who want to reach out, send them an email. How do I get on board to support any of the financial programs that are ongoing in the institution? All right, and we'll get the information on the YouTube in the comments and highlight it for both institutions. All right, let's go. All right. All right. All right. Some quick fingers going here, Mrs. Flora. Thank you for that. Let's get this on. All right, so that's for Denby. And we have the information here for Clarendon College. ccusergroup@gmail.com. All right, there you have it for both institutions. So all these comments that are here, they watch the replay, they'll be there throughout the replay, but I'll seek to tag them along on the YouTube page for you to get access to that information. Are there any questions from our live viewers this evening as it relates to the programs at the different institutions? And don't worry, we'll have other schools coming on. We wanted to allow enough time for the schools to share. So the other schools will be coming on, so you can look out for that. So this week we are focusing on high school education financing, and we have Denby High and Clarendon College represented here on the Serenity Resource Connector space this evening. All right, so we are under the hour, but let's have final thoughts from our guests. Hi, Tanish, leave it shorter. Good night. Thanks for joining us. All right, let's get final thoughts and just talk to our viewers, those who will be watching. Mrs. Florite, take the lead.
I'll close with the verse of a song. No, I'm not singing. I'm reading out the lines.
That would have been such a treat.
If I can help somebody as I pass along, if I can do my duty with a word of song, if I can share my duty as a good man ought, then my living shall not be in vain. So once you give to a Clarendon College student, then you would not have lived in vain. And it is said that kindness is a language that the blind can see and the deaf can hear. So reach out, help a Clarendon College student. It will reap a lot of rewards. This is an investment that will not be in vain. You'll be surprised to know how far your influence would have gone. So I'm reaching out especially to any past students who might be there in cyberspace who is listening. Come on board, help our students. We'll appreciate your efforts.
All right, well said. Mrs. Owen, are you going to do the song? You're muted. Go ahead and share your final thoughts.
I actually would even knew the song. Okay, so yes, every day when you give just a little, eventually, as they say, one coke of full basket. And the seed that you plant today might be the tree that shelters you tomorrow, because helping one child means that you're keeping one child away from poverty, one child away from the streets, one child out of danger. You're actually helping a child who, because of your kindness, will actually reach out to another. So you take one candle and light it, and we all light the world, because wherever there's darkness, light should illuminate, and we are the light, and we're going to do just that, So we are going to be our brother's keeper. And sometimes when you don't remember the goodness that you did, well, years down the line, let's say you do good will follow you, So you don't know who you're going to see. Maybe the student you help today is the same student who is going to be the manager of somewhere that you're going to go, and then that student might give you special service. So let us do what we can. And I'm saying past students, but I'm also saying parents. I forgot to have mentioned that you do have some parents who, seeing the need, have been reaching out to help other students as well. Yes. So parents, past students, well-wishers, whoever you are, Give, and it will come back to you. All right. Thanks much.
All right. Some really great gems here to take us out. Mrs. Jalal.
All right, thank you so much. And once a teacher, always a teacher. So you are going to hear the teachers, the educators coming out with
Yes,
that, right? It's the gems that would really keep us going. Sometimes we remember even the first gem that would have learned at primary school. Those
that's
never
right.
leave us. Yes. I just want to endorse what my colleagues have said, and just to encourage all of the viewers to really give to schools. It doesn't matter if you attended the institution or not. You can reach out to a school always through even the guidance counselors. They will always provide that bridge for you to help a child. um the schools can't do it alone, and the schools can't do everything. But if we do get even one individual, one at a time, each one will help and make things different. I'm a teacher of literature, and so I have to quote something from the literary world. And so playwright Oscar Wilde says that the smallest act of kindness is worth more than the grandest of intentions. And so if we have persons who will reach out even in a small way, it is going to make a big difference for our boys and girls. The act doesn't have to be great. All right. We can help with providing lunch even one day per week for a child. We can help with purchasing even one book. We can help with purchasing a uniform for a student. We can pay for a subject. It doesn't have to be all 9 subjects, but whatever small way that we can provide support for our children, not just for Denby, not just for Clarendon College, but for all of our schools, it will certainly make a difference.
Indeed. Truly spoken as educators. And I shared earlier, for those who weren't on, that I am a product of the system of sponsorship, right? I've never met the person who sponsored me, but what I did was to ensure that I paid it forward. So when I started working, I chose to go into the world of work so that my mother could have it easier to take care of my younger siblings. And my way of paying it forward was that once I started working, I set up an account and started doing that deduction each month. So by the time CXC came around, each of my younger siblings, it was about 3 of them, they did not have to worry about CXC, right? So we can, and it didn't take much. It didn't take much. Just start doing your little part, because if each of us does that, we will be able to empower those who are coming behind us in our families. And it's not much. It means that you might buy one less bling for the month. It might mean that you go to one less party for those who party, just to help the others that were coming along. So let us continue to be a part of the change that we want to see, to look in before we look out. What is it that I can do to make a difference? And let me take this opportunity to thank my sponsor. Mrs. Chloride can check the record to see who exactly that is. I'm not remembering, right, for making it possible for me to be in a position now to open this platform to share. Someone once asked me, why is it that you volunteer so much? That's probably it, because so many people have helped me along the way. I feel a sense of fulfillment in giving back to others. Right. All right, Mrs. Plurite, you have a lot of your past students in the live. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mrs. Plurite, Mrs. Owen, and Mrs. Jalal, for sharing the Serenity Resource Connector space. And I'm sure we'll be able to do this again some other time, talking about something else, because there are so many things happening in the school. And one of the focus of this program is education. So we talk about education, occupation, income, wealth, and community. So I'm sure we'll have much more to talk about. All right. Thank you so
Thank you.
much, Dr. Smalling, Poured Moments. Paying it forward. Yes, that's one of my things. God bless your heart. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you all for joining us. For those who are joining us live and for those who will be watching the replay, thank you for making it the Serenity Resource Connector. And remember, we don't want to just leave it here. A part of this is to just let you know what is happening and how you can be a part of the change and how you can guide others in taking advantage of the different opportunities that are available. All right, the comments are still coming in. I'm impressed with Serenity for hosting. All the presenters were excellent indeed. Ms. Vassiane, they are excellent and the information provided. And I still can't get over the detailed presentation about the path from Mrs. Owen. Really, I'm really, really impressed. Keep up the great work. And it's that time of the evening where we make a wrap on this episode, and you don't want to miss next week. We are going to turn our attention to early childhood education. Interesting. I learned so much about that I didn't even know that existed. So stay tuned, look out for the link for next week and join us as we get started on that conversation so we can learn what exactly we can do to be a part of what is going on. Exceptional program. Good night. All right. Bless your heart. Thank you again, Mrs. Jalal. Have a safe journey home.
Thank you.
Ladies,
You're welcome. And Mrs. Witter, I just want to extend, just gratitude for what you've been doing to really showcase, our schools and our community because, the last program was really a good one. So it's something that will certainly encourage our people to take more interest in our civic affairs and just to pay it forward. So, and I recall your involvement with the sibling that you had at Denby, and that was certainly something that was commendable. All
thank you
right.
so much. And she's online. She's one of those
Hi, Aqua Princess.
aqua-
Hello, my Aqua Princess.
one of my biggest cheerleaders,
Yes.
my little sissy boo. Oh,
Really great stuff. Really great stuff. All right,
awesome.
colleagues,
All
thank you
right.
so much for having me. And I'm going to sign off so I can continue my journey.
All right. Safe journey. God
Safe
bless you
travel.
all. Continue to stay
Travel
safe
safely.
and see you same time, same place next week, God's willing. All right.